This video is not going to be for Munyaos and kids. So if you're a Munyao or a kid, I think you should bypass this video. And I'll give you a second to bypass. Um, I usually don't make, and I'm not into the habit of making many videos. A lot of my videos have to deal with justice and specifically, it's been, I guess, kind of selfish because I've been posting up my issues with the police and whatnot. So, something disturbing's coming over that came over the news wire, or I seen it anyway, was Chantel Moore, a Native woman, a Native sister, God bless you, that was murdered in her own home by some New Brunswick Nazis. And let's get this straight. I've been called a cop hater. I've been called many things by the cops I have to deal with. Not liking them, not respecting them. And basically, yeah, we all know where that's going on. Now, the story is some so-called friend sent these cops to her house because they were concerned. If you're Native or a friend of a Native, there's one thing you never do. You don't call the cops and have them go to any Native's house. If you can't get off your fucking ass and go there and do it yourself, you do not call the fucking Nazis, the local Nazi detachments. It's my personal belief that a lot of these missing, murdered Indigenous women were murdered by police due to the fact that police like to do starlight drives, starlight tours. Now, what do these police do? They pick you up, and unbeknownst, Wikipedia is only telling half-truths. In Wikipedia's ad, they say starlight drives when Saskatchewan police officers drove a Native, an Aboriginal person out middle of nowhere and left them there to make them walk home. That is false. That is white media bullshit. The real truth of what fucking Starlight Drives is, these fucking murdering Nazi cops, not just in Saskatchewan, everywhere across Canada, every Native can stand up and testify to this. These cops will grab a Native. Before it was only men, but from the missing and murdered Indigenous women, it looks like these cops have decided to turn on women in the early 2000s to this date. Before, they only attacked men. And it would take like 6, 7, 8 of them. So it'd be a couple of cop cars, they'd take you out and beat you. But I guess they got too incompetent and lazy. And 6 or 7 white Nazi cops couldn't handle a man and beat a man up, that they went off and beat up on women and dragged them out and did starlight drives to our Native sisters. And I feel sorry for that. I also feel sorry for Chantel Moore, who was in her own home, who had a supposed friend phone the people that murdered her and sent these murdering Nazis to her house. Some friend. You signed her death warrant the second you picked up that phone and called the cops on a quote unquote wellness check. Any white cop that gets an opportunity will murder a Native because they know they can get away with it. And look at the evidence. Not one thing showed up on the news. Nobody's tweeting about it. Nobody's asking for justice. Nobody, not even one of these New Brunswick cops, weren't even suspended. Get that into you. 2 cops go in, murder a Native in her own house. Nothing. What about the so-called friend that called the cops on Chantel Moore? Is there any remorse? Any guilt? Nothing. Another Native sister, take it away from us. For doing what? Being in her own home. being in her safe home. Couple of white cops show up in the middle of the night. As a native and as a native woman, 2 white cops at her fucking door with guns, I'd be terrified too and grab a knife. Because what else have cops done? And this brings us on my second subject. We natives will never get no fucking justice. Not while there's pretend investigation units in front of them. They are like the condoms for cops, for these Nazi pigs. Here where I live in Edmonton, it's called professional standards. They're not there. Okay. People expect things like professional standards and these things to hold these cops accountable. You are asking for one Nazi pig to investigate and hold accountable another Nazi pig. That has to change. Cops also, all Canadian cops in this country need to start wearing not body cams, untamperable body cams, dashboard cams, and a new law has to come in that's stating that any fraudulent tampering with said footage is an immediate suspension, immediate jail time, and that's it. The cops should not be held above us. And if they are, they should be held accountable more than us. They are fucking cops. They fucking go out and murder somebody. Those 2 cops should be already in jail right now on fucking suicide watch and on super PC. But because they're white cops, they get to walk the streets, still bring in a paycheck, and fucking who cares? Just another dead fucking Indian, right? Trudeau, right? Police forces across Canada, right? New Brunswick police. I don't need. Natives need action on this. There's more crap going into these colonizers' issues than our own issues. And that frustrates and pisses me off. A native woman was outright murdered in her own house because some asshole decided to call the cops on and send the cops to a native's house. What the fuck did that fucking goof think was gonna happen? And as far as these professional standards, new laws have to be thrown in by the fucking government. Body cams, dashboard cams, new laws that state that any tampered footage from those cameras, body cams, is an automatic 1 year in jail. No ifs, ands, or goes, and we'll say a $50,000 fine. 1 year in jail, automatic suspension, 1 year in jail, $50,000 fine, and the cop loses his job, obviously. That's justice. Real justice. And that's holding these Nazi pigs accountable. Not by having other Nazi pigs investigate them and think they're going to hold them accountable. I have 2 cases that went to professional standards. A cop by name Ginger Jack outright denied them. One of them, I have footage of the arrest that I showed bits and pieces of. Still, professional standards is a fucking bullshit lie. They are there to protect and defend and justify these fucking Nazi pigs' actions. Watch. New Brunswick will come out and say that fucking it was all Chantal Moores and that these 2 murdering fucking Nazi pigs had every right to murder her in her own house. Natives, we need justice. This bullshit has got to stop.